There are a lot of VR shooters, and today we're going to cover the best of them that I can recommend to you in 2026. I'm Martydudevr VR. I've been playing VR for about 6 years now, it's 2026, and I have come across a lot of VR shooters that I kept up with the times, some that are just my all-time favorites, and just some that are new that are really good. So in my list, I'm going to recommend games that I actually play, games that I actually have put time into, and I've actually tried out that I genuinely enjoy, and I think that you guys will like. So my list is gonna be different from other people's lists, and that's pretty much the point of making these type of videos. So give me a chance on my list because I think a lot of you guys like these games. There's gonna be different genres, different focuses, but all of them will be first-person shooters. Before we get into the video, I gotta shout out SkolVR. SkolVR is literally the best performance gun stocks, and I might even say the best gun stocks you can get for VR right now. They're affordable, awesome, and just really fun to use. And I quite literally have no complaints about any of my SkolVR gun stocks. Now, it might sound like I'm glazing a little bit, but genuinely, when I use my SkolVR gun stock, I get kills. It may not be as flashy as other companies' gun stocks and include haptic motors and stuff like that, but it is a genuinely good aiming experience. If you want to pick one up and get a discount or anything like that, check the description below because I have all that stuff down there. And shout out SkolVR. All right, so our first game on our list is Contractors VR. This is one of the games that made me fall in love with VR all those years ago, even like on the Quest 1. The best thing about Contractors OG is the fact that it has so many mods. You can play like Titanfall mods, Team Fortress, Halo, Call of Duty, literally anything you can think of, World War II, World War I. You can do it in this game. Now with the addition of like Quest stuff or added over the years, the game sizes did get a little bit smaller, but it's still a lot of fun to be had. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Ground War game mode on there, and you literally can hop in and have hours of fun playing Star Wars. Like the Star Wars mod packs are very detailed. They even have the original music, a lot of the OG maps from like Coder and stuff like that, and it's genuinely just a fun experience. It does suck because the community has downsized a good little bit, but it's still a very active game with a lot of people playing. If you hop on like on a Friday or Saturday night or even like a Sunday, you will find a lot of people playing and putting in work. If you're a person looking for a Call of Duty-esque experience for VR, then Contractors OG quite literally is gonna be your go-to. And if you see me on there, don't shoot me. All right, so our second game is Contractors Showdown. So this is kind of like the spin-off of Contractors, and this game actually includes a battle royale mode and an extraction mode. So the battle royale mode is a little bit different nowadays, especially after the launch. It's not as played. I do have trouble getting into games when I play the battle royale mode, but if you can get a game going on there, it's actually a lot of fun. It's the closest thing gonna get to Call of Duty Warzone being in VR, but I really think that the cream of the crop in that game is the extraction mode. So if you play games like Tarkov or Arc Raiders or anything like that, this is literally the VR extraction mode. Personally, I don't play it a lot because I'm not big into extraction shooters, but this was technically my first extraction shooter. I didn't play Tarkov, anything like that. I played Contractors Showdown as my first extraction shooter, and I actually loved it originally and had a lot of fun. There's a lot of weapons, a lot of mechanics, and really a lot of attention to detail that I wish it would have brought over the Contractors OG, but it didn't. I do want to say it's an updated engine though, but don't quote me on that, but it does feel a little more updated than the older Contractors engine. Personally, I think if you're looking for a Call of Duty-esque experience in terms of extraction and battle royale, I think Contractors Showdown is gonna be the go-to for a lot of you guys. Now there is Ghost of Tabor, another extraction shooter, but I don't personally like that one over this one. So, you know, titles, not on my list personally, but it is out there. Now I won't say Contractors Showdown is perfect or anything like that, but it's a lot of maps, a lot of interactivity, not as buggy as you would think it would be, and just a lot of fun. Our third game is a set of 2 games. Into the Radius as a series has to be recommended because both entries in the game is nice. Personally, I played Into the Radius about a few years ago. I didn't really get it back then, but they actually sent me a key to Into the Radius 1 on the PSVR 2. And I tried it on there like genuinely, and I fell in love with it. So it's another one of those extraction, but this time is more horror based. So you go into the place called the Radius and you have to find materials, do missions, extract. You're going to encounter a lot of anomalies and entities that will try to murder you. But if you're smart on timing, scavenging, and keeping your ammo stocked the correct way, then you can actually extract and complete missions. So it is possible to level up your character, level up your weapons. There's a lot of guns in the game too, which is awesome. My gun is nice and clean. Let's go. Sure, there's ammo in there. Check down the barrel. And well, I think my favorite thing about Into the Radius as a series is the atmosphere. Like when you go into the Radius, you feel tense the whole time. A lot of people call this game VR Stalker. So if you ever played the Stalker series, it quite literally is a perfect VR translation of that IP. Personally, I never played Stalker, so this was my first encounter with this type of Stalker-esque game. And just like how I played Contractors Showdown, and I really kind of woke up to the extraction style gameplay, this made me do that too. So this one is available really on all platforms. So if you have any VR headset on anything, you should be able to play Into the Radius. Now the second game isn't fully fleshed out because it was released in early access, but the first game is pretty much done and you can do whatever you want on there. But if you're looking for a more hardcore kind of VR horror-esque experience, then definitely play Into the Radius. Our fourth game on our list is Arizona Sunshine Remake. So this is technically a whole series of games. And personally, I recommend Arizona Sunshine Remake and 2 if you like the first game. But this remake is probably one of the best I've seen in VR. This game originally, especially after I played it way past its prime, I didn't really like it. But the remake, especially somebody that loves a good zombie game, the remake is amazing. The gunplay feels amazing. You can actually interact with the zombies in the way you want with melee or even punching them. And it's genuinely a fun experience. And even though it's a pretty goofy story, it has some really tense moments I think a lot of people are gonna like. What's also dope is that you can play this up to 3 fellow survivors. So if you actually want to play online with a friend, you know, you're a little scared of the game or just want to have some good fun co-op zombie fun, then you can do that. This game is also available on pretty much all platforms I can think of, PC, Quest, PSVR 2. And I would say if you have never played a VR zombie kind of horror game, then this really should be your first one because it honestly is great for beginners. In terms of the story, you play a pretty lonely guy who goes around trying to find other pockets of humanity. And you'll see how that goes. The story is really goofy. Like it's extremely goofy. And honestly, it's a little off-putting at times. But I will say it gets you from point A to point B, point C. So it is what it is. Our fifth game is Zero Caliber 2. So Zero Caliber is one of my favorite first-person VR shooter series ever. Like the first game I played on PC way back, even though they did abandon it for a while, and you know, still a little salty about that, but it's okay. Y'all gave me another game and gave me this game for free. So shout out to y'all. It was genuinely one of my first loves for VR. I streamed it a lot back in the day. You can even find streams probably up on YouTube now. And I just had a blast. Now, the second game is a complete overhaul, especially because it released on MetaQuest first. And I'm so glad they brought it over because the graphics on MetaQuest was okay, but I wanted something a little bit more and they delivered. So if you're on PCVR, personally, I'll recommend buying the game on Steam because my God, this is probably one of the best looking VR games that have probably come out in the past year. Now, is it photorealistic? No, but it does have a lot of great attention to detail. It is really, really, really solid graphics for a shooter. And like I mentioned, this game gives that Call of Duty-esque campaign feel, a bunch of explosions, helicopters flying, missiles everywhere. And it can be a little difficult because there's a lot of people shooting at you at any given moment. My favorite thing about this game though is that you can do kind of like Rainbow Six, esque kind of sieges and stuff, or breaches into doors. And it is so satisfying in VR. So if you're looking for like a challenge, this game definitely will give you that. The customization for the guns is really good. And you can actually unlock guns as you go and customize them on the fly just by turning them to the side. So if you're looking for a Call of Duty campaign in VR, Zero Caliber 2 got you. Now, our sixth game is one of my top 10 VR games of all time. And I completely mean that. Vertigo 2, to me, and a lot of you guys are gonna argue with me, to me, it's better than Half-Life Alyx. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't clear the video clips. So hold up, chill, stay right there. Stay right there. Give me a second, let me explain. Vertigo 2 has everything a VR game needs to be amazing. It has immersion, interactivity, great graphics, stylized art, and a lot of weapons you can use. And the sixth thing it has is difficulty. This game is actually not very, very difficult, but it can be pretty damn difficult. And it also has a really, really, really good story. Like, I enjoyed the story of Vertigo 2 so much because the characters are actually interesting. Shout out to interesting characters, man. A lot of VR games need to take notes. Get some interesting characters, get some good voice actors, and give us a good product. I literally have no complaints about this game other than the fact that the DLC was kind of but that's another, topic for another day. But other than sometimes kind of unfair difficulty, Vertigo 2 is an experience, man. The weapons are cool. The way the cutscenes are shot is really interactive, and I have never seen a cutscene like that before when it came out in VR. To me, Vertigo is as close as you can get to a 10 for a first-person shooting, action adventure game. Go play. If you like Half-Life series, or if you like sci-fi, if you just like weird space stuff, then Vertigo 2 needs to be in your Steam cart like today. Or on PSVR 2. It's also on PSVR 2. Now, the PSVR 2 version may need a few tweaks, but I heard it got fixed a little bit. I don't know. But please go play one of my favorite games of all time. Our seventh game is Vail. So Vail is an actually interesting game to me because I feel like it should get more respect in the community. Now, I'm not a everyday player of Vail. I would never say that, but I do feel like it's a great game and a great community to get into in 2026. There's a lot of personality to this game, and there's a lot of game modes. This game will actually touch the scale a little bit because there's some real sweats on here. But this game has different game modes like DDM and stuff like that. And they actually just came out with an extraction mode that actually looks really good. Now, personally, I haven't played the extraction mode because I'm just not into extraction shooters like that. But I have heard that it's really solid and some people have had a lot of fun with it. To me personally, Vail is a really good kind of alternative to Contractors, Pavlov, and those other style games because it has a bit of a different vibe, different weapon mechanics. And oh man, speaking of the weapons, oh my God, it has probably some of the most interactive like VR guns I have seen personally. Like, I have never played a game where you can like just interact with the weapons to such a degree and it feels natural. So if you're like a kind of like a gun nut for VR, you will genuinely like the weapon handling in Vail. That's kind of its acclaim to me, other than the really cool art style. There are some microtransactions in the game that are totally of choice. Calm down. And you can actually customize your character and stuff like that. And it actually has a pretty decent community. So if you can hop into a game, you can do that. If you're looking for another FPS game to pew your friends with, then play Vail. Number 8 is RoboQuest VR. So RoboQuest VR is one of Flat2 VR's latest ports. This is actually a pancake game, which aka flat game, but you can play in VR now. And the VR version is actually pretty solid. Now, I was surprised. I played this on PSVR 2. It runs great. Played it on SteamVR. It also runs great. I was kind of surprised by how good this is. So if you're a person who likes kind of roguelike shooters, this is it. There's a lot of guns you can pick up in this game. It honestly, the art style reminds me of Borderlands a little bit. Not fully, but kind of cell shady, just kind of goodness. Personally, I'll recommend this if you like fast-paced shooters. Like, this shooter is not a shooter you can play just kind of casually moving around. You're gonna be ducking and dodging and moving really fast through those maps. Now, in this game, you play a robot, and you're a good robot trying to save, your humans from the bad robots. So good luck. The story is okay. Personally, I think the gameplay is the shining feature here. There's a lot of different enemies, a lot of different mini bosses, a lot of different upgrades you can get for your character as you go along. And it is just a blast. Like, you can do throw kunai and stuff like that. The game is solid. It's a very solid VR game. And I wish people would have played it when it came out. So if you haven't played it, go play it, man. Support Flat2 VR because Flat2 VR is doing a great thing for the community by giving us VR ports of existing games. And even with the recent controversy with Luke Ross and Cyberpunk VR mod, I'm not gonna get it. God damn, what a guy. They might have a chance to do a Cyberpunk VR port, so we'll see. But back to RoboQuest, yes, great game, solid. I am rambling. A lot of ADHD brain a little bit, but it's great. Number 9 is Pavlov. So Pavlov, to me, was one of the best VR shooters. Now, it still has a community nowadays, I will say that. I personally used to like Pavlov back in the day, where you had these really big games, But what happened to a lot of shooters in the VR space had to downsize because of the MetaQuest. Hopefully we get away from that now that the MetaQuest is kind of stepping back for VR a little bit. But Pavlov still is one of the best shooters if you like Counter-Strike-esque shooters. So if you like search and destroy and stuff like that, there's even infected game modes that is really good, like amazingly good and really creepy. I actually had a lot of fun playing that. I mean, they even have like Vietnam maps and a bunch of different modded maps, kind of like Contractors has modded maps. And it's a solid experience, a very solid experience. Very different from anything else you play in VR in terms of gun handling. A lot more realistic, I will say that. So if you like more of a realistic type of shooter, then Pavlov is really good. There's even World War I modes where you can drive tanks and all other cool stuff. So if you're into that type of stuff, then Pavlov's gonna be the game for you. But overall, I would say Pavlov kind of fell off over the years to me personally, but is still a great contender and deserves to be on this list. Before we get to honorable mention, make sure you go to VRRock.com, get subscription lenses for your PSVR 2, your PCVR headset, your mixed reality glasses, your AR glasses, really anything. VRRock has you covered on all fronts, and they're affordable, man. They're really affordable. Use code Martydudevr to get more percentage off. I've never had a problem. I have like 12 VR headsets and I've never had a problem getting prescription lenses because of VRRock.com. Link is in the description below. Our honorable mention today is Fallout 4. So a lot of you guys are like, what? Fallout has a VR game? Yes, and it is terrible. It's terrible by every means, base, without my, y'all know Bethesda. Come on, man. You know, but you gotta fix Bethesda games to get them to work. And this one is completely no different. So Fallout 4 has a lot of different mod packs using Wobblejack, which is an installer, to basically give you the perfect, well, not perfect, but the best Fallout 4 experience that you can get. I've been playing Genghis VR, who's another VR content creator. He made a mod pack called Fallout Essentials, and it is essential and really changes the game to be more fun. There's also Mad God's Overhaul mod pack. Check out my dude VR Dad. He does really good content on that. And there is so much you can do in this game now with mods. If you've never experienced Fallout or been watching the Fallout show, you quite literally need, and I mean need, to go play this in VR. Mod it though. Don't play it base because you're gonna hate the game base and never want to touch it again. But if you find a good mod pack, let your boy know. And I'll even leave a link in below so you guys can actually just get a link straight to the mod packs and how to install. But I feel like it deserves to be on this list because Fallout 4 VR has come such a long way. Especially when I first started playing it like 5 years ago. It's come a long way. And it deserves to be on a list like this because it is good. And graphically, it has improved a lot since then also. And our 10th game, please come to the front. Forefront VR is a newbie in the scene. It's actually one of the newest games on this list, if not the newest game on this list. And it is one of the best VR shooters I've ever played. Now, this is Battlefield VR, and you can drive tanks, you can drive helicopters, boats, cars, anything you can think of, you can do in Battlefield, you can do in Forefront. And the game size is actually pretty nice, especially for this to be running on a MetaQuest standalone and PCVR. 32 player is the lobby size, which is insane for a MetaQuest without it exploding. Now, you guys do realize that the MetaQuest is usually underclocked because of heating issues, stuff like that. So the fact they got it working on a MetaQuest is kind of nuts. And I think that was one of the main reasons the marketing went so well for this game, because people were like, how? But after playing the game, especially on PCVR, you can't tell they took like some liberties on the graphical side, but the gameplay is so good, you really don't care. Forefront VR is definitely one of the best first-person shooters VR, and I can't wait to see in the future how it develops and the community grows around it, because it's just that good. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this list, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, man. Let me know what content you guys want in the future. I have a lot of reviews coming up, a lot of just fun stuff coming up on the channel. I will be covering the UD cap gloves, Big Screen Beyond 2 review, maybe. Let me guys know if you want that. And I did get my Pimax Micro OLED, but I have some issues with it, so I'm getting that fixed, and I will have a video up really soon. And more VR treadmill content on the way. With that being said, Martydudevr VR, and remember, this dude, a lot of VR headsets. Peace.